Going on to the other side, to the big debate that's coming up, a record 45 lakh people in India were inoculated on the 5th of April. 2 days later, India surpassed the levels that had been reached by the United States to become the fastest vaccinating country in the world, with over 30 lakh doses administered. However, this dream run witnessed a slump in the weeks that followed. Vaccination centers began returning people and running out of doses. Vaccination became the biggest political point for a slugfest in states, and states started seeing staggered supply. The opposition barbs have become sharper since then, and a massive political face-off ensued, bogged down by several allegations made by the opposition parties. The government has today come out with a 7-point rebuttal. The first myth that the government has sought to tackle was not of procuring vaccines on time. The centre today clarified that it has been in talks with several firms, including Pfizer, to get more jabs for India. It also made clear that there are no applications for approval pending with the government, with drug controller in response to claims that it had not approved some vaccines that are available globally. The white paper issued by the government also cited several efforts taken to ramp up domestic production to quell doubts of those who feel that domestic producers are not functioning at optimal capacity. The government has also rejected the charge that proposals to invoke compulsory licensing by explaining why it isn't an attractive option. Another scathing and persistent criticism was that the centre had abandoned the states, but the government today put on record that all the vaccines procured by the centre is supplied wholly and completely to the states, because centre is an entity, people live in states, and that it has enabled every single state to procure vaccines on their explicit request. Then there has been the allegation of not giving enough vaccines to states, to which the centre claimed the vaccines are allotted transparently as per the agreed guidelines on the speed at which the states administer these vaccines, and of course the caseloads in every single state. The government has also responded to the charge of not vaccinating children by saying that no country in the world has done it yet, and there is no universal guideline on whether these vaccines are safe for children. However, these assurances cut no ice with the opposition, and no less than Priyanka Gandhi took on the BJP. Take a look at this face-off.
Why is India one of the largest manufacturers of vaccines in the world facing a scarcity of vaccines today? Why was the first order of vaccines by the government of India placed in January 2021 when other countries began placing their orders in the summer of 2020? Why did our government export 6 crore vaccines between January and March 2021 while vaccinating only 3.5 crore Indians during the same period of time?
भारत बायोटेक का 4 प्लांट है, क्योंकि भारत सरकार ने प्रोएक्टिवली काम करके किस प्रकार से प्रोडक्शन बढ़ाया जाए कोवैक्सीन का, उसके लिए काम किया है। 1 करोड़ से 10 करोड़ तक का ये सफर चंद महीनों के अंदर कोवैक्सीन पूरा कर रही है। ये विश्व में किसी भी और कंपनी और किसी भी और देश में बिल्कुल देखने को नहीं मिलता। स्पुतनिक को लेकर जो डॉक्टर रेड्डी के साथ काम कर रही है, अब ये मैन्युफैक्चरिंग जो भारतवर्ष में होगा वो 6 कंपनियां करेंगी। भारतवर्ष ने 6 कंपनियों को इस काम पे लगाया है।
So the legitimate question on the news hour tonight is just this: who is injecting vaccine fakery? That's the question and the hashtag for our debate tonight. Vaccine myth versus reality. I'll see you on the debate on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 2 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
And joining Guru Prakash of the BJP tonight is Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author, scientist, Smita Prakash, editor, ANI, Tanveer Ahmed, spokesperson of the JDS, Dr. Fuad Halim, spokesperson and leader of the CPM, Ghanshyam Tiwari, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, and Sujata Paul, political analyst. But my first question goes to Mr. Tanveer Ahmed. Tanveer Ahmed, we've heard enough criticisms coming the way of the government. You know that the vaccination requirement of India is virtually 2 billion doses, and that's not the production of vaccines in the whole world. So clearly, there are realities that we have to keep in mind when we begin to criticize. And criticize not just because we don't know the reality, but criticize for earning political brownie points and creating unrest amongst people. I want to ask you, Tanveer Ahmed, you know the production capacity in India. You know the fact that availability abroad is of a certain number. These figures are available openly. Today, the government has answered every single criticism. Would you be convinced tonight?
Absolutely not. When Moderna and Pfizer, the entire world was going behind and placing orders, India was caught napping. When European Union can go to Pfizer and Moderna and place an order of 2.4 billion doses, and America 900 million, did they analyze? Did they ascertain? Did they evaluate? Absolutely no. They were caught napping. They were caught doing politics. What is the politics happening here? Should Yediyurappa continue as the chief minister or not? What 149,217 people died because we didn't vaccinate these people. They were not supposed to die. The government was absolutely caught napping, and they had easy plans to blame. Initially, they had Nizamuddin to blame. Right now, they are saying that the opposition is playing politics. No. We want to join hands with the government. We want to help them. We don't want to really play dirty politics like Congress is doing. Like DK Shivakumar is doing here, saying that I would collect 100 crores. 100 crores rupees are not enough to vaccinate the people of Karnataka. We are dirty politics, but it is the duty of the government to plan properly. Did they do proper planning, saying that the second wave is coming? No. Mr. Narendra Modi ji and his government was busy doing campaigning at West Bengal and busy blaming Mamata Banerjee for all political reasons. Mr. Prime Minister, now still the time is there. They can go to the global manufacturers and place an order and still save their lives. But the government seems to be more interested doing politics and blaming the opposition rather than saving the people of this
Guru
country.
Prakash ji, respond to Tanveer Ahmed. Respond to Tanveer Ahmed. He probably doesn't know that Pfizer injections had to be stored at minus 70 degrees, and he probably doesn't know that the Pfizer company wanted indemnities. If the government had given in to those requirements, then these would be the same political parties who would come and say, "Dekha, crony capitalism, dekha, complete sell-off to American companies, complete sell-off to pharmaceutical giants." Would they not have, Guru Prakash?
No, Navika ji, let me request my friend Tanveer ji to please go through the very detailed PIP notice that has come out today. It discusses every notion, and we are all aware of the unfortunate and the sustained misinformation campaign. These are the same people from the opposition parties who questioned on the credibility of the vaccination. Now today, when the government has come out with a clear-cut strategy, a vision, a mission on how are we going to do it, the government said, till August of this year, we are going to vaccinate 30 crore jabs. We have already done more than 20 crore. Fastest in the country, sir. I'm sure you are aware of what is happening in the United States, what is the pace in China, what is the pace of United Kingdom. So this is so unfortunate at a time of an unprecedented crisis when all of us should come together, work in tandem, work in coordination. You're questioning government. You have every right to question government, sir. But please, let's have a civil, constructive, positive and a solution-oriented discussion instead of raising questions. Same people, these are the same people, I'm sure, who said vaccine nationalism हो रहा है, ये vaccine आप इनको क्यों दे रहे हैं? This is beyond human comprehension at least. This is a time, a challenging time, and we must come together, sir. 216 crore vaccination the government has said, the government has committed, the government has promised, and you would see that happening. Like all the previous promises, this is going to be fulfilled as well. Our citizens' health is the topmost priority, and we are going to deliver on that.
Well, let me get in Ghanshyam Tiwari. Ghanshyam Tiwari ji, I'm asking you, wouldn't you have criticized, because आपकी party ने तो पहल की थी. They were the first ones to come out and say this is a BJP vaccine, let's not try BJP vaccines and all of that. Pfizer, if Pfizer had been imported, A, it was expensive, B, the kind of storage facilities that were required for Pfizer possibly India does not have beyond its urban centers. Wouldn't you have then said there would be a divide between the rural and urban India, and that Modi is only for the rich people, not for the poor people? Let's do some soul searching tonight, Ghanshyam Tiwari.
Well, when lakhs of people have died because the Prime Minister led India into a disaster and cannot face press in telling how the country should come out of this disaster, the soul searching has to be on the other side of those who are defending the Prime Minister. Here are the numbers of the last 10 days. 6,12,091 people got vaccinated first dose on May 16, 71,279. This is the number on May 16. What was this government doing? This is at its utmost low. When state after state are going helter-skelter to float global tenders, the government doesn't say a word. Those companies have to come back and say that we will not supply vaccines to you. What was the need of creating this kind of scarcity mindset? They have created a complete tamasha where every day chief ministers are forced to fight with the Prime Minister or the central government. They are forced to distract the country into something else. And there are other leaders like Adityanath, chief ministers of BJP ruled state. They just don't care. India does not need this tamasha. We don't want this battle to save the Prime Minister's image. We want every Indian to be vaccinated. This government till date does not have an answer of how it will do it. And then we are talking about school children. Look at the foolishness of somebody like Adityanath, who says UP has blunted second wave and we are ready for the third wave. This is the kind of foolishness that BJP wants its top leader, supposedly number 3 in Bharatiya Janata Party, to propagate in the country. People are still dying, and here is the chief minister who foolishly says that he has blunted, he supplied oxygen, bed, vaccine to everybody, blunted the second wave. The bodies are floating. Administration has been caught taking away Ram Nami chadar from the dead bodies to bury the truth. And yet, we want to do soul searching in opposition. I think it is absolutely clear that in this
Dr. Anand Ranganathan, I want to ask you, is the opposition being fair? Are we saying that India was in a very good position and it handled its COVID situation? No, I don't think there's a single person in India who will say that. But to heap all the blame on the doorstep of the Prime Minister, to say he's the one who failed, haven't the facts actually showed that while yes, our infrastructure is bad, even the temporary arrangements that had been made for hospitals had been removed. Yes, some of those mistakes have been made. But to say that we should have had more vaccinations available, that, the speed at which the infections actually multiplied in the current variant situation was something that the government should have foretold when nobody expected across the world this kind of rapid positivity rate. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, is the opposition being fair? It's a simple question I want to ask you tonight.
Well, I think congratulations are in order that the government has finally released this press note. It should have done this maybe a month ago, but I don't know why it took it so long. But these 7 points are important because they would lead into not only facts that many people are not aware of and also misconstrued, but also it would lead to a healthy conversation, and that is what we want. Remember, this issue should not be made political. This is a scientific issue. This is a issue concerning our health. Now, I agree broadly with Navika. My ample criticism and limited praise of India's vaccination policy has been known to you and to others for months now. But the issue is not that. The issue is about this limited press release. Now, here I have two points to make. Number one, I think it's good that the government has released this, as I said. But out of the 7 that it says myths that we're going to break and tell you the facts, I'm afraid 2 are still myths. Let me go through them one by one. Number one, I think the government is factually wrong when it says that no other country has started to vaccinate children 12 or 18 or under. That's wrong. The permissions have been given in America, in Israel, and in Canada on May 11th. And in Canada, I know for sure, I'm not sure about America, whether they've already started, but in Canada, they have already started vaccinating children. So the government is wrong in that myth number 7 that it intends to break. And also, I'm kind of disappointed that the government says that we are going to have the clinical trials for children under 12 or 12 or under 18 starting soon. I mean, it's been 9 months since you started the phase clinical trials on adults? What was stopping you for including children, let's say even 6 months ago? You should have done this. Do you not realize that children are asymptomatic carriers, and even though the mortality rate is not high at all, but they could transmit the disease to adults. So the children also need to be vaccinated. So I'm a bit disappointed and agog that the government has still not started the clinical trial. Number two, very quickly, the other myth that it says that it has now clarified into a fact, that the government says we have supplied enough vaccines to the states. I'm afraid that's not true at all. The government hasn't. I mean, if you only have to look at the government, people who are in the government committees. Professor Guleria has been saying this since 2 months now, that we don't have enough vaccines to distribute. And this was before the government opened it up for 18 and over. So the states just don't have enough vaccines to administer to 18 and over. And the government is lying when it says that it has given enough vaccines to the states. So these are the 2 points that remain myths, that remains that the government says we have corrected it, but it's not right.
Well, let me get in Smita Prakash. Smita Prakash, there are valid points. We haven't got it 100% right. But is it 100% wrong the way the opposition makes it out to be? After all, we are dealing with a population as large as India. On the issue of children, Dr. Anand Ranganathan makes a very valid point, and that is something that we will ask Mr. Guru Prakash to respond to. The fact is, children have not gone to school for a year and a half. Today, a young child, less than 10 years old, has filed a petition in the Delhi High Court. Tia Gupta has filed a petition in the Delhi High Court. It's been, possibly coming in tomorrow morning at some point. The fact is, these kids want to go to school, and without vaccination, they can't go to school. But having said that, these issues have to be looked at. But having said that, is it 100% wrong? And is this a time for sensible conversation and engagement between opposition parties and the government, or is it only an issue of blame game? Smita Prakash.
Navika, the thing is, Dr. Paul of Niti Aayog was asked this question as to why children are being, the testing is happening only now. Why not earlier? Now, his explanation, which is the explanation of many healthcare professionals around the world, is that initially you first test it on adults. You see whether it is worked or not. You don't go, the last people that you test are the children, because you want to protect the children. You don't want children to suffer. You don't want them to die. You don't want them to get complications. So the last ones, when it is successful on adults, then you go stage by stage, and the last ones that you go to are children. That's his explanation. I'm not going to go into details about whether it is right or wrong, but that's how it's happened world over. It's happened in Europe. It's happened in America. The last ones to be tested on were the children. And he's right, Anand is right, that it has started in some countries. The government is wrong on that. When it comes to the press release, and where Anand says is that it should have come earlier, and I think Ghanshyam and the others have said that we are late. Of course we are late. What has happened is that what we are doing now, ramping up production of vaccines, talking to international players and stuff, this should have happened 6 months earlier. We would have lost less lives. But we are at this stage. Either we can keep pressing the panic button and have press conferences every day and saying hi Tauba, or we can look at this as a national mission. I think today's press release, which has come out, it makes it quite clear that the whole document is that the whole vaccination process, whether it is the acquisition, whether it is the distribution to the states, the administering of the vaccines, the data mining that has to be done, the feedback, this whole process has to be a public-private partnership. And the most important thing, that a strong and interdependent center-state relationship, that is the bulwark that will make it possible for India to vaccinate first its vulnerable and adult population in the next few months, which has not been done. But this fear-mongering and this press conferences every day saying hi Tauba, hamare paas nahi hai, of course nahi hai. We are short, but it's like Dr. Paul says, there's a finite number of vaccines which are available, and every country wants it. I mean, Covaxin, which everybody used to laugh about it, right? 6 months back. Now Bharat Biotech is saying 1 crore se 10 crore. We're going to make 10 crores by October, and 3 PSUs will produce about 4 crore doses by December. Should this have been done 3 months ago, 6 months ago? Probably yes. But you remember how it was the butt of all jokes, Bharat Biotech, how everybody used to say, हमको ये BJP वाला vaccine नहीं चाहिए. So obviously there comes a hesitancy whether to give those orders or not.
Well said.
It shouldn't have come as a different matter.
Is it the time for partnership, or is it the time for confrontations? Well, let's leave that aside, but let me get in Dr. Fuad Halim. Dr. Fuad Halim, I want to ask you a simple question. Is this the time for partnership, or is this the time of political point scoring at a time when people are dying or facing the severest form of infection?
Well, you put it very correctly, Navika. By the 1st of June, in all probability, India will be number 1 in the number of cases that have been recorded as positive corona. So that is the situation. We are entering into another 5 days. We are going to displace all the other countries on the map of corona, and at the end of the day, when the story of corona will be written, India will be showing the greatest number of people afflicted and affected, and that is the history we are walking into. Now the question that you raise is what we could have done and what we should do now. At the moment, if you're talking about vaccination, then this number of cases can only be stopped if we have a larger number of fully vaccinated people. As of today, fully vaccinated people in India account for 3.1% of the population. Now there is a very clear semantic which is being played out by the government and the government spokesperson. So the first degree of cooperation, I will request the government not to play with figures, because the number of doses is still not 10% of the number of people who need to be vaccinated. But the first dose is not going to help us in countering this disease. It's the people who are fully vaccinated and completed their doses. That means each citizen requires 2 doses, and that amounts to 206 crore doses. Now, we've not touched even 10% at the moment that we are talking. As of now, 19.8 crore doses have been given. That's even less than 10% of what the number that we have actually targeting to achieve a strong fight against COVID-19. So this is the reality. And in this reality, we are going into a situation where we are going to have the largest number of cases. These people will be spreading the disease to other who are non-immunized people. Our vaccination schedule has to ramp up to that level. If it doesn't ramp up to that level, I'm not talking about looking back and trying to pin the blame onto somebody, but we need to seriously ramp up our vaccination program. Otherwise, India's story is going to be already Fuad Halim.
I completely agree that this is not the time to pat ourselves on the back and say that, oh, we are the fastest, we have done the number, in terms of absolute numbers, we've done the largest in the world. Yes, it's not time for congratulatory messages to ourselves. The fact is we are a large country and we are less than 10% even today. We need a quick solution, but I think today I've seen a new side of agreement, cooperation, while being realistic about what we are lacking from Dr. Fuad Halim. I just hope that the opposition parties will take a cue from him. He is a practicing doctor, so probably, he's being more sober today on this issue because he knows life from very close quarters. And I would urge all political parties to look at this problem as a problem not of politics, but of saving human lives. And yes, be critical, but be constructive in your criticism, because we've got to meet this together as a mission. One party or one government or one individual cannot do it. It will take 135 crore Indians to get together to stop the blame game, to bust the bubble of myth versus reality, The myth is that we're doing nothing. The reality is we have miles and miles to go. Let's go and cover those miles and not bring each other down on the way. Thank you very much, all my panelists, for joining me on this big debate. Taking a short break, big exclusive video coming up on the other side.